FanDuel is one of the most popular sports books in America, but is it the right book for you? Today, I'm going to try to help you answer that question as I dig into the Fin certified criteria we use for our sportsbook reviews. And what is in that criteria? Well, I'm glad you asked. We dig into user experience, bonus offerings, payment process or banking, odds variety, and of course, safety. These are things we here at OddsShark dig into for our on site and video book reviews. Basically, we're doing the homework for you, and you can trust us to do just that. What is up, sports bettors? I am Andrew from OddsShark, and give me a few minutes as I dig into FanDuel. Okay, guys, first things first, full disclosure off the top here, OddsShark is a FanDuel affiliate partner. We do receive compensation for any signups and first-time deposits via our links to FanDuel on oddshark.com, in our YouTube descriptions, and elsewhere. But that does not mean we aren't or cannot be fair and balanced in our reviews. And here at OddsShark, we strive to be fair and transparent in our content. So let's dig into it. Okay, guys, let me start with user experience, digging into things like site design, structure, navigation for the user, things like that. Nobody wants to be bogged down by a laggy site, and it is important that actions, clicks, those are quick and responsive. So right off the top, FanDuel has solid performance and pretty similar presentation on both desktop and mobile. One is not a real departure from the other, and you'll be very familiar when you need to pivot from desktop to mobile or vice versa. The side rail on desktop is found at the top of the mobile app, for example, so pretty seamless and familiar for users jumping between platforms. Digging into betting real quick and searching for bets, it's fairly easy and straightforward. I'll use NBA here as an example, and clicking on that league logo produces that day's betting card pretty quickly, so no real delays or hiccups when it comes to site performance. Clicking on the More Wagers section then brings us into the more granular betting options for that game, and there is a ton here, but I'll get into that momentarily. Bet slips are pretty clearly laid out for you, and again, just note that if you do hit up a few spread bets, it does default to a parlay ticket, so just make sure you are either betting these one by one or you just hit the single bets portion of your bet slip. Same game parlays or SGPs are basically front and center for the user on both desktop and mobile. They also have a parlay hub where you can find anything across multiple sports. It's a handy little section if you're into parlays, and it's got a clean presentation. Another place at FanDuel where the user experience really shines here is with the live betting. The presentation is very good. There are tons of live betting options at FanDuel. They do show some live stats as well. So if you're like me, you don't have to have a ton of tabs open at the same time. Also, considering they do have a deal with Major League Baseball, you can actually live stream their MLB game of the day with your FanDuel account as well. So pretty neat option there. Plus, you can expect some international stuff like soccer, basketball, hockey, tennis, and a handful of others. So a pretty decent offering for live streaming and live sports for your in-game betting. Oh, and when you do get signed up, you can access what's called FanDuel TV Plus, which has some really good sports betting content as well. Elsewhere, the promos are clearly laid out at the top, so make sure you do routinely hit up that section of FanDuel so you just make sure you aren't missing out on anything new or beneficial. In the past, we've even seen FanDuel offer a 3-month preview of NBA League Pass, so always keep an eye out for offers like that as well. All in all, UX is really good here, and I'm sure the majority of bettors out there would agree. Okay, let's talk bonuses and promos now, and compared to other shops, FanDuel does not really have the most robust offering when it comes to promos and bonuses, but they certainly do have a few that new bettors can probably find handy, and some that are pretty generous. But I guess the best place to start with FanDuel promos is going to be their annual Kick of Destiny. It's their most famous promo, probably the most famous across the board, and certainly one that garners a lot of attention come Super Bowl. If you don't know, it is their annual Super Bowl field goal kicking event that you can pick a side on and win a share from a pool of millions of dollars. It started with Gronk in the first couple. It pitted Eli versus Peyton Manning at Super Bowl 59, and it's a fun novelty promotion that is definitely the most popular of the lot. And very much like the Kick of Destiny, FanDuel will feature other promos where if you make the correct pick, you will win a share from a pool of cash, like a first touchdown score in the NFL, or like this promo for Leafs Panthers in the NHL playoffs, where if you correctly pick the first goal scorer, you will win a share from $50,000. As far as sign up bonuses are concerned, they are frequently changing, but at the time of this video, at least, new customers can expect something like bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins, that kind of thing. This is a type of sign up bonus that newcomers to FanDuel can expect. But just note that the monetary value of the bonus is subject to change. For example, it's $250 at the time of this video. It's not uncommon to see $150, $200, or $300 as a return for new customers. They do also have a refer a friend bonus where if you get your buddy to sign up, you can get $50 in bonus bets. And they have profit boost tokens as well for various sports and leagues, which you can find on the promotions page. And as you can see here, you got things like a 30% profit boost on a soccer game parlay or a basketball parlay, so on and so forth. Again, not the most robust promos and bonuses sections out there, but certainly a handful of very good options for you. And if you do like the token system, you'll be right at home here at FanDuel. Okay, let's talk banking here. Depositing at FanDuel is pretty standard in the industry right now. I mean, you can expect to see Visa and MasterCard to deposit. They accept Discover Card as well. And then you can also use Venmo, PayPal, as well as some more old school methods like bank transfer. Of course, withdrawing your money does have a bit of variance. Debit card, PayPal, Venmo can take up to 24 hours. Online banking can take upwards of 3 to 5 business days. Worth noting, though, that credit card is authorized for deposit only. You can have them cut you a check as well, but that'll be the longest wait, around 7 to 10 business days. They do have a neat feature where you can track your money after you do withdraw. They liken it on site to a pizza tracker kind of vibe, so you can follow it along throughout the process from when you request all the way through completion. And if you're like me, you want the option to follow your money and your pizza every single step of the way. All in all, some standard wait times for things like withdrawing, but pretty much par for the course in the industry right now. In terms of variety, FanDuel is at or near the top. I mean, if you're watching this, you are more than likely into the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball. And don't worry, FanDuel has more than enough to keep you entertained for those biggest leagues. We're recording this in the NFL offseason, but let's look at what they have here. They have a pretty sizable futures market, including Super Bowl, conferences. They've got 2025 win totals on the board, and they have some draft offerings. And of course, when the season kicks off, you have your single game parlays and the standard markets like spreads, totals, money lines. They are agile with what they offer as well. In this draft section here, they have some fun stuff like will the Giants draft both Travis Hunter and Shadur Sanders, Jackson Dart to be drafted in the second round, and more. Plus, they have season-long player props up as well, QBs to throw for 4,000 plus passing yards, receiving props, rushing props, and more. And that's just the NFL. You can expect similar treatment for the NBA, for Major League Baseball, and elsewhere. And honestly, FanDuel is highly competitive in terms of their odds. And what I mean by that is they frequently offer the best or near the best number compared to their competitors in the space, which is why it is important that users out there have multiple sports books. If you see that the Dodgers are minus 176 favorites at one book, they might be 165 at another, giving you a bit better value. But yes, FanDuel, highly competitive when it comes to their odds. Soccer bettors are covered here as well. Obviously, you'll get the Champions League and the biggest domestic leagues like the Premier League, La Liga, but you can also bet on the top leagues from Argentina and Brazil to Belgium and Greece to Japan and South Korea and everything in between. Plus, you've got tons more niche leagues and betting markets, at least on our side of the pond here. You'll find things like darts, rugby league and rugby union, snooker, Aussie rules, and more. So even beyond the main leagues and sports here in America, you can find tons of options if you're into that. I will say that MMA bettors and NASCAR bettors might be left wanting a little more. For example, it's pretty limited in alt-round over-under markets for UFC bettors, and there's not much more for international fights. As far as NASCAR is concerned, it's limited in Xfinity props and just a bit less in head-to-head props for Cup Series. But those are pretty niche. Most bettors will find exactly what they are looking for. FanDuel is deep in terms of sports and leagues. It has great SGP options. It's very good for futures and props, and it has your standard single game offerings as well. Very comprehensive. Lastly, of course, you want to know whether FanDuel is safe or not. And as a leader in this industry, you can rest easy knowing that it is. And because of its place, sort of at or near the top of the sports betting world, FanDuel strives to be as safe as possible. They are partnered up with HackerOne for cybersecurity, and FanDuel even has a platform where users can submit potential threats and risks per its vulnerability disclosure policy. This is incentivized as well, so you brainiacs out there can get to work and get rewarded for flagging risks. Elsewhere, obviously, FanDuel is regulated. It sends American users the appropriate tax forms and can answer any questions, including anything in regards to the IRS, a full statement of wins and losses whenever the user requests it, and more. And just a note, FanDuel is known for really good customer service. So if you do have any issues that pop up, you can be sure that you'll be able to reach someone on their end. They have the classic live chat option and a pretty robust FAQ section to get you started. But they also have an X account dedicated to support and, of course, are reachable by email. FanDuel is safe and secure, has great customer service, and has channels to properly disclose any vulnerabilities that the user sees. It's about as good as it gets in that regard. Okay, guys, look, FanDuel is one of the big dogs for a reason. It's got a great offering for the biggest American sports and leagues, especially for prop betting. It's got a very good live betting platform. It's got decent bonus and promo offerings, which is anchored by that annual Kick of Destiny, which might be the most popular promo out there. But it does lack slightly for MMA bettors, for NASCAR bettors, and even leaves a little bit to be desired for women's college basketball bettors as well. Still, all that to say that Oddshark can confidently and comfortably give this a Fin certified seal of approval. You can see some more strengths and weaknesses in a review over at oddshark.com and get even more insight into this book. If you do want to sign up, hit that link in the description or visit oddshark.com and get started with your FanDuel journey today. If I did help, hit that thumbs up button. And if you do have any questions, drop them in the comments. We'll get back to you. Happy betting and stay safe.